On a quiet morning in Los Angeles, after a long day of filming, Hugh Jackman decided to take a walk through the calmer parts of the city. He had become accustomed to the fast-paced life of Hollywood. But on days like this, he longed for peace and solitude. The sun was just rising, and there was a gentle chill in the air. Hugh felt a sense of calm as he walked through the streets of Los Angeles, away from the noise and chaos. As he strolled down the street, he passed by the usual bustle of the city, but one figure caught his eye. A young man, likely in his early 20s, seemed lost in thought, sitting on the corner of the sidewalk. He had a guitar case with him, but his face held an expression of uncertainty. His eyes were wandering, and Hugh couldn't help but notice the desperation in his posture. The young man looked like he had lost his way, not just physically, but emotionally as well. Hugh stopped for a moment, watching the young man, who appeared to be struggling with something. There were others around, but none seemed to notice or care. Hugh, sensing an opportunity to offer some help, decided to approach him. "Hey, how's it going?" Hugh asked, his voice warm and friendly. The young man looked up, surprised, and after a beat, he nodded shyly. "Hi," he said, his voice shaky. Hugh could see the tension in his face, and he gently asked, "Everything okay?" "You seem a little off." The young man hesitated for a moment, his gaze drifting to the guitar case on the ground. Finally, he spoke. I, I'm a music student," he said, his voice uncertain. "But I don't know anymore. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this life. I've been struggling for a while, and I just feel stuck. I'm not making any progress." Hugh's heart went out to him. He could see the doubt in the young man's eyes, the fear of failure that was so familiar. He had been there before, unsure of his place in the world, questioning his abilities. Hugh took a deep breath and smiled gently. "I know what that feels like," Hugh said. "I've been through it. When I first started, I felt just like you, lost, unsure if I could do it. But let me tell you something. That's part of the journey. The struggle, the doubts, they're all part of it. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when it feels like nothing's happening. It's about believing in yourself when it feels like no one else does." The young man looked at Hugh, his eyes wide with disbelief. "But what if I'm just not good enough?" he asked, his voice tinged with fear. "What if I don't have what it takes?" Hugh smiled warmly, leaning forward slightly. "I get it. But here's the thing. No one knows what the future holds. We all face rejection. We all hit roadblocks. But that doesn't mean we're not meant to be here. What matters is how we handle those moments. It's about resilience, perseverance. You have something special inside you. I can see that. You just have to trust it." The young man sat silently, processing Hugh's words. For the first time, he seemed to relax a little, as though a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He looked up at Hugh with a mixture of gratitude and hope in his eyes. "You're right," he said softly. "Maybe I've been too focused on what I haven't achieved. I've been so caught up in my failures, I forgot to appreciate how far I've come." Hugh nodded, a knowing smile on his face. "Exactly. Sometimes we get so caught up in the end goal that we forget to enjoy the journey. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to grow. And you're doing great. Just keep going." The young man's eyes brightened, and for the first time in a long while, there was a spark of hope in his expression. "Thank you," he said, his voice stronger now. "I really needed to hear that. I've been letting fear control me, but I think I can change that. I'm going to focus on the things I can control, like staying positive and working hard." Hugh smiled with pride, feeling a quiet sense of fulfillment. "You've got it. And remember, no matter where you end up, don't let the fear of failure stop you. Keep pushing forward, and trust that the right opportunities will come your way. The young man stood up, now looking more confident, and thanked Hugh once more before walking away. "Thank you again, Mr. Jackman," he said, his voice filled with appreciation. "You've really given me a new perspective on everything." Hugh nodded and smiled, watching the young man walk away with a renewed sense of purpose. As the young man disappeared into the crowd, Hugh sat down on a nearby bench, taking a deep breath. He realized that sometimes all it takes is a few kind words to change someone's day, or even their life. The power of empathy and understanding was something Hugh had always believed in, and today he had seen just how impactful it could be. As he continued his walk through the city, he felt a quiet sense of pride. Helping someone find their way, even in the smallest of ways, was truly a gift.